Hello, I'm Rudi. We are here at the Fellowship of Acoustics, and today we are talking about the 5 most important questions about vintage guitars. So we are taking vintage guitars very seriously. We buy them everywhere and we sell them over here in Holland, but all over Europe. Vintage guitar is more than just a guitar to play, it's an investment also. So I remember back in 1989, I didn't do anything with guitars other than play them, and I bought a guitar, a Martin D18 at 2,000 guilders, that's about 900 euros, and I sold it 15 years later at almost 2,100 euros, that's more than double the price. Then I realized vintage guitars are more than just a player thing. They are an investment as well. That's a difficult question. When is a guitar vintage? It depends. Some guitars are vintage earlier than others. So talking about my Martin D18, it was valued as a vintage guitar already after 15 years. It looked like it also. It was worn and beaten and it sounded really good. Others aren't considered vintage that soon. If I remember the Fender guitars, the 70s are still a bit difficult in terms of value and to be considered vintage. Slowly they are becoming vintage. So there's not a really good definition as in how many years. It depends a bit on the buyer. It's a market from where the guitars are offered and bought, and the market says when it's vintage. If you see the Martin guitars, the 30s, 40s, 50s also are considered really valuable, especially the 30s and especially the dreadnoughts and the TFOA models in the 30s. So buying a D28 from the 30s, you often have to bring more than 75,000 euros, and in the 40s it's up to 20,000, 50s up to 15,000. The Gibson guitars, it's the 30s, 40s and especially the 50s, the electrics are considered really valuable. We all know about the Les Paul Standard. The Les Paul Standard reached prices up to 400,000 euro, dollar, whatever. And it's really more than just a guitar. You won't take a guitar like that on stage unless you have a whole lot of money in the bank. It depends on how deep your pocket is. But I think a good Martin guitar is always a really good investment. I learned that over the years, and prices are still going up. One of the things is that vintage guitars aren't made anymore. So over the years they get rarer and rarer. They got stuck in collections. Every year they are harder to get. Back in the years, around 2005, 2010, it was easy to buy Martin guitars from Europe, Gibson guitars from Europe, but somehow I can't find them anymore. They are really gone. It's really a matter of rarity. Foremost, buy a guitar that you enjoy, and that's very important. Don't buy a guitar to put in a safe, but play it and enjoy it and have fun with it. And then suddenly after 15 or 20 years you realize your money tripled. That's a nice side effect. You have to concentrate. If you want to invest in guitars, buy the brands like Martin, Gibson, Fender. That's the best investment. If you think a cheap Chinese guitar will grow really big money, it won't. Not in 10 years, not in 20 years. For investment reasons, buy the brands that matter. Other brands are national, Gretsch, those kind of brands. Collector grade means it's not played. So it's like mint condition, it's always been in the case, and that makes them very rare, and very rare makes them very valuable. Player grade is the other end. That's when a guitar is played, has cracks, has patches, has seen several problems, but still sounds really great. Not always, no. If you buy a harmony from the 50s or 60s, it's not really an expensive guitar. It can sound really good. But the Martin guitars and the Fender guitars and the Gibson guitars often are very expensive. It depends on what you buy. Yeah, I have to see it to tell you. It's really hard to tell. It depends on the brand first and the model. So if you buy, for instance, a Martin from the 30s, they are almost always above 2,000 euros, but it can be 200,000, 400,000 as well. If you have a D45 from the late 30s, that's very rare. That's only 91 made, and the most exclusive guitar ever made is, I think it's even more valuable than a Les Paul Standard from 1959. But if you buy a 0015, it's something like maybe 3,000, 4,000 euros. That's affordable. Still sounds really great. So if you want to know more about what your guitar is worth, send us a message. If you want to trade them, please go ahead, send us a message through the trade-in service. We have a trade-in service, and we give you an honest answer on what your guitar is worth. If you have more questions, please ask them in the comments. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, please subscribe. We're looking forward to make more videos. See you next time.